This video will provide you with an overview of the CPM College Preparatory Mathematics curriculum. Let's first take a quick look at the background of CPM. CPM is a nonprofit organization that has developed mathematical curriculums and provided its teachers with professional development since 1989. CPM writers designed a curriculum based on the NCTM standards that is a blend of traditional and integrated approaches. Our textbooks are written mainly by middle school and high school classroom teachers in collaboration with university professors in mathematics and education. Our hope is for long-term retention of mathematical knowledge. The research has found that students learn best when they are involved in a wide array of structured inquiry, that they have the opportunity to discuss ideas with others, and the use of mixed-spaced practice. We do not emphasize problem solving with a disregard for skills, nor do we focus solely on skills without the attention of real-world problems. Students need to understand both the importance and learn to use appropriate skills at appropriate times. We offer both an integrated approach and a traditional sequence of courses, from 6th grade to calculus. Our Core Connections books are 100% aligned to the CCSS standards. For more information, you can visit the CPM website, go under Teachers, and click Reference. Not only do we address the Common Core state standards, but we also have woven in the mathematical practices. We've been using the practices, the philosophies behind them, for more than 25 years. As you look through the lessons and see students engaging in authentic real-world problems, you'll realize that the practices are woven in seamlessly throughout daily lessons. We look to base our principles on math, not mnemonics. There's an emphasis on reasoning, critical analysis, gathering evidence, where students are justifying their thinking and communicating a mathematical argument with others. We embed the practices throughout the curriculum in a variety of ways. As a current classroom teacher, this really sums it up. Students sometimes complain that we require them to think too much, but they will never forget things because of the spaced practice. Here's a look at what inquiry-based learning looks like. It's not just free-rein exploration. Students are active participants in their learning. They're engaged in rich, meaningful problems that have a mathematical purpose. The teacher provides a support as a facilitator to actively guide, summarize, and students are able to think critically, analyze, evaluate, and conclude. Let's look at the course structure. At the beginning of every chapter, gives the teachers and the students an overview, a breakdown of what's in the lessons, what materials will be needed, what technology tools can be used. Every lesson has a heading so that students and teachers know what the objective is. There are guiding questions for the chapter. Also, at the beginning of every chapter are suggested assessment plans. These provide teachers with opportunities for formative assessment and also gives them tips on what to include on individual tests. These were planned by experienced teachers who know that all students need time to master concepts. Within the text, the problems are numbered, so this is the 41st problem in Chapter 1. Now let's look at the components of the teacher notes. At the beginning of every lesson, the objective is stated along with the mathematical practices. Included are the core problems. These are the problems that the class should get through in order to meet the lesson objective. Next is the suggested lesson activity. This tells the teacher how the lesson should flow. It gives them recommendations on strategies. It gives them good guiding questions to ask, anticipates what students might say, and recognizes common errors that students might make and how to address them. Also in the teacher notes are tips on how to provide closure, ways to get students to collaborate within their study teams, and universal access, how to differentiate and accommodate for different types of learners. There are several forms of interventions available for teachers and students to allow for differentiation for different needs. CPM builds conceptual foundations slowly with an emphasis on manipulatives and viewing problems in multiple ways. Let's take a look at a typical lesson's format and features. So in this lesson, we have an opening that gets the students active. They're collaborating, they're talking. It might be challenging. Then we develop the conceptual understanding. So we might be using manipulatives, incorporating problem-based learning, and we have a structured approach where the teacher is supporting, guiding, and summarizing. The students will next work through several problems to help them understand the concepts. Students are actively involved by using manipulatives, thinking, talking about their understanding, and recording it down on paper. Next, we look at application problems, providing context. I very rarely hear students say, when are we going to use this? Because the curriculum does a nice job providing context. Then we can extend the idea and develop fluencies with the skills. At the end of lessons, we provide teachers with suggestions on how to develop closure. There's also math notes that provide formal definitions and solved examples. The structure of the lessons offer teachers several ways to interact with students. During the lesson, they circulate among the study teams. When they notice that several or most students need assistance on a specific skill or idea, they pull the class together and provide targeted lectures. As students work on problems, teachers check for understanding by asking questions. Oftentimes, those are provided in the teacher materials. There are many benefits of having students working in teams. Social support for learning math, success for more students, opportunity to see and discuss multiple approaches. We have found that teachers report that students are more engaged and interested than in a lecture or seat work. CPM writers are careful to write so that students can read the textbook. Since students work in a study team, many students learn reading techniques and vocabulary from their peers. Now, the homework, which we refer to as review, preview, allows students to process the topics from the current lesson. So there might be one problem related to what they did that day. Then there is a distributed practice of previous work. We find that this is really good in getting kids to develop fluency with skills because of that spaced practice. They see the concepts again and again. Let's look at some special features in some of the lessons or problems. At the end of most chapters, and sometimes in the middle, there is a problem called a checkpoint problem. This gives students and teachers a benchmark when most students should be comfortable with a particular skill. If they're still struggling with that skill, we provide them with checkpoint material review, and it's denoted by this symbol. So here's an example of the checkpoint material. So throughout the text are the checkpoint problems, and then here is the material that provides them extra practice. Some lessons provide further guidance. So there'll be a big challenging problem with some questions, and the teacher has the option for classes or teams to either tackle it as a big problem, or there is a further guidance within the text that provides them with a more structured step-by-step approach. So this allows for differentiation based on students' needs. At the end of every chapter are some options for teachers to provide closure. There are reflective activities, list of the learning logs and math notes. There's lists of the key vocabulary and opportunities for students to use graphic organizers. Chapter closure includes a set of closure or review problems for the students to practice. This section also includes the answers as well as where to find extra help to solve these problems. So for example, math notes, learning logs, and extra practice problems within the text. Some other types of problems within the text are stoplight problems. This is where students get to correct an error that was intentionally made by a student in the text. And then there are some problems that we don't want students to use a calculator, and others where we do want them to use a calculator. Those are denoted by these symbols here. Let's look at some additional resources provided by the CPM curriculum. In the middle school series, we provide consumable toolkits. These include the math notes that appear in the student's text, where students can engage with them. So highlight, underline, include additional examples. And then there's also space provided for learning log entries, where students reflect on what they've learned. This might be modeled by a teacher, or they might be writing their own reflections and have a peer review it. In other grades, students are encouraged to create their own learning logs. There's a variety of ways that students and teachers can organize these. Oftentimes, teachers will create a class summary statement at the end of class to pull together the big idea, in which students will then record those in their learning logs. There's resources available to parents as well. The parent guide, available online, and also you can purchase a copy, provides a topic introduction, some examples explained step by step, more examples worked out in detail, and also they're provided with practice problems and solutions. There's also an extra practice book that has the same format as the parent guide. Both of these resources are available free online. Let's look at some other web resources. You can check these out at cpm.org. The online homework help can be accessed online through the student portal at the CPM website or through the ebooks. Students have access to free online help, and sometimes we provide answers. Sometimes they're just hints. In addition, there is an assessment bank that provides sample assessments. We also have this test generator, which will allow teachers to go on and look through a variety of problems that they can download onto their computer. When you go onto the CPM website, you can look under the teacher portal that has specific resources by course, access to the newsletter. Under the student portal, students can get homework help. They can also print off resource pages, get extra practice. And under the parent portal, we have parent guides, research and studies. All of our Core Connections courses also have an ebook version. There's one for the teachers, and there's also ebooks for students. You can get your own license at this website, and that will give you a 2-week trial. At CPM, we truly believe in professional development. Our curriculum will only be employed well if we have knowledgeable, resourceful teachers employing it. We provide extensive professional development led by classroom teachers. We offer 3 to 5 days of summer workshops and follow-up workshops throughout the school year. We provide MathCast videos for every lesson and every course. We provide mentoring, classroom visits when possible. In the professional development, we provide teachers with a transition to problem-based, student-centered, active learning. We provide this during our professional workshops, and we also provide coaching. If you have additional questions about the CPM curriculum, here are ways to contact us.